After the recent notable accident, news related to the Boeing 787 continues to draw the attention of the entire world. It seemed that the concerning signs of this aircraft had stopped there, but an additional incident occurred that pushed the anxiety to a peak. What is really happening? What is the aviation industry facing? Let's follow along. A Boeing 787-8 operated by Air India was forced to return to Hong Kong shortly after takeoff from the city. The widebody aircraft had been airborne for less than an hour on June 16th, when it reversed course and landed back in Hong Kong, where it has remained ever since. According to the airline, the aircraft had to return due to a technical malfunction. While flying over the South China Sea, it leveled off at approximately 22,000 feet, 6,705 meters, before initiating its descent back to Hong Kong. More seriously, the crew did not transmit a 7700 squawk code, which is used to indicate a general emergency on board. Fortunately, after that, the aircraft landed safely at around 13:17 local time. As of now, Air India has not scheduled a flight to return the jet to India, likely due to ongoing technical inspections. Flight tracking data also reveals that this particular aircraft, registered VTNAC, had previously been grounded at Abu Dhabi Zayed International Airport since June 1st. It returned to Delhi on June 12th and resumed commercial service the next day, operating a flight from Delhi to Dubai International Airport. What really happened with it? The cause remains undetermined, but it should be noted that the mid-air return of this aircraft occurred just days after the fatal crash of Air India flight, or I-171. That tragedy involved another Boeing 787-8, which crashed shortly after takeoff from Ahmedabad International Airport on June 12th. According to India's Ministry of Civil Aviation, the aircraft was carrying 242 people, including 230 passengers, 2 pilots, and 10 cabin crew. Of those on board, only 1 passenger is confirmed to have survived, while the crash claimed the lives of at least a dozen people on the ground. In a statement issued on June 14th, the ministry confirmed that India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, AIB, launched an inquiry on June 12th. Investigators recovered the aircraft's black box the day after the crash. The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, has announced it will lead a team of American investigators to support the probe in India. Meanwhile, Indian authorities have formed a high-level independent committee to conduct a parallel investigation, with its first meeting scheduled for June 16th. In the aftermath of the crash, India's Directorate General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, ordered a fleet-wide inspection of all Air India Boeing 787 aircraft equipped with GE Aerospace Jenks engines. As of June 14th, only 8 of the airline's 33 Dreamliners had undergone inspection, according to the ministry. These inspections aimed not only to detect potential faults in the engine configuration, but also to assess flight control systems, takeoff data, and the integrity of onboard electronic systems. The comprehensive nature of this examination reflects the severity and urgency of the situation, indicating that authorities do not see this as an isolated event, but rather as a systemic threat that requires close monitoring. And in fact, this other Dreamliner's return is even more troubling, raising alarming questions. Could there still be deeper technical issues lurking within the Dreamliner fleet? Still with us? Great. Don't forget to like and subscribe to get the notices about our latest videos. And this may shock you. Both aircraft involved in recent incidents, the crashed AI-171 and the Dreamliner-8 that returned to Hong Kong, were equipped with GNX-1B engines made by GE Aerospace. This isn't the first time the GNX series has come under scrutiny for reliability concerns. The U.S. Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, previously issued warnings about the risk of fan blade cracks, especially under high humidity or prolonged vibration conditions. Other airlines, such as Japan Airlines and United Airlines, have also reported issues with Jenks engines, including unusual vibrations, asymmetric wear, and sensor malfunctions that led to grounded flights or mid-air diversions. This raises a critical question. Could engine failure be at the heart of these recent accidents? If so, accountability may extend beyond the airline to include the engine manufacturer and even global aviation safety certification systems. The recurrence of the same engine type in multiple incidents across different regions forces the industry to reevaluate the overall safety of the GNX line. When an entire fleet is grounded for urgent inspections, when the same engine model is implicated in 2 serious incidents within days, and when there's a known history of technical issues, it becomes increasingly difficult to dismiss these events as isolated or coincidental. Perhaps what we're witnessing is the slow emergence of a critical weak link in the aviation system, long warned about, but insufficiently addressed. However, the sequence of incidents has not only raised serious concerns about the safety of this aircraft type, and even more broadly, about Air India's operational integrity. This is not the first time the airline has faced devastating aviation disasters, prompting the question, what exactly is happening with Air India and its fleet? It's hard not to feel a chill when revisiting the tragic history tied to the name Air India, a name that each time it resurfaces in an aviation disaster evokes unease. These crashes aren't just numbers in a report. They are heavy with unanswered questions about operations, human decisions, and perhaps even fate itself. It all began with the ill-fated flight I-855 on the first day of 1978. A Boeing 747 departed from Bombay, now Mumbai, en route to Dubai, carrying 213 passengers, people full of hope and plans for the new year. Yet less than 2 minutes after takeoff, the aircraft plunged into the Arabian Sea, just 3 kilometers off the Bandra coast. There were no survivors. What cause made that disaster? It's spatial disorientation by the captain. But how could such a seemingly human error go uncorrected in a system designed to prevent exactly this? Where were the safeguards, the procedures, the fail-safes? Then came Flight AI 812 on May 22, 2010. A Boeing 737-800 was making its final descent into Mangalore after a routine journey from Dubai. But in a stunning turn of events, the captain chose to continue an unstable approach, despite 3 warnings from the first officer to go around. The aircraft overran the runway, tumbled down a hillside, and burst into flames. 158 people lost their lives. Only 8 survived. As if that trauma weren't enough, Flight AI 1344 crashed on August 7th, 2020, amid the COVID-19 pandemic during the Vande Bharat repatriation mission. After 2 failed landing attempts due to heavy rain and tailwinds, the aircraft tried a 3rd time to land on runway 10 in Kozhikode. It touched down, but overran the tabletop runway and fell down a nearly 10-meter slope. 19 passengers and both pilots were killed. Over 100 others were injured, many of them permanently. 3 accidents, 3 nightmares, hundreds of lives lost, hundreds of families were shattered, and an industry left asking, is there something deeply broken within this airline's operating system? Or are they simply a horrifying string of coincidences? And now, with another Air India Boeing 787 abruptly turning back mid-air due to a technical issue just days after a deadly crash, one cannot help but feel a sense of dread. Are these incidents isolated, or are they slowly revealing a far more disturbing pattern we've yet to fully acknowledge? After all, aviation is an industry where even the rarest of technical anomalies can have devastating consequences. However, the proximity of these events, both in time and aircraft type, makes it increasingly difficult to dismiss them as mere coincidence, especially when both aircraft are part of the same fleet, powered by the same GenX engines, and operated by the same airline. A pattern begins to emerge that is too stark to ignore. The fact that all 33 of Air India's Dreamliners were ordered to undergo immediate inspection speaks volumes. Authorities are clearly aware that a deeper issue could be at play, whether it lies in engine performance, maintenance oversight, pilot training, or even systemic pressure to maintain on-time operations. The possibility that technical vulnerabilities remain undetected, or worse, unaddressed, is what turns concern into alarm. More than anything, these incidents force the aviation world to confront an uncomfortable truth, that even in an era of advanced safety protocols and automation, systemic risk can still hide in plain sight. When the same type of aircraft, with the same engine, operated under the same conditions, begins to show repeated signs of distress, it's a wake-up call. We are left to wonder, not just about what went wrong, but whether the industry has done enough to prevent it from happening again. Until an official conclusion is reached, stay calm, and don't forget to follow our upcoming analyses on the Dreamliner. Thank you, and see you next time.